Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early October 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy, see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these lovely Virgos in early October? It's a lovely time of year. See what energies, messages, insights we could take a peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo. Early October, what's the energy? What's the vibe? Let's get this card out nice and quick. What do we have for our good friends? And sometimes your cards, they're a little particular, so they take a minute, but we got yours pretty nice. All right, so a big future focus with this one. I like this card, and I actually haven't seen it in quite a while. And when you look at it, it seems like the symbolism is pretty simple on its face, and it is. But there's a lot when we start peeling back the layers, and it is great for the future to come. So even if you're going through something a little choppy now, this is always a really good sign to start off a reading. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this. So as you can see, we have this lovely lady here in the blue dress. She is on the beach. She is at the seaside, and she is looking out towards the horizon. Notice that there's these big structures in the sky, and they have rainbows. So to me, it's like someone thinking, all right, where am I going? What am I going to do next? She's not looking into the past. It's more so what's to come. Like, how's this going to turn out? What's the best option? What's the best decision? Now, to me, these represent goals, those big things in the sky. So whether that's advice from spirit saying like, hey, Virgo, maybe make like a 1-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, set some goals and aspirations. I know Virgos are generally very driven individuals, and having something to work towards is very important. So whether that's advice or something you're doing here. Now, this card can also represent a sense of strategy. So again, I'm not sure if you're planning something, somebody else might be planning something, but it's like, all right, let me cover all the bases here. Let me plan for every eventuality. So I like being prepared for the future, but you know how it goes, right? We can't predict everything that's going to happen. But I think it's optimistic. I mean, I would feel optimistic about your future with a card like that, but we're just going to let her chill right there. She could keep doing what she's doing. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Virgo, my guides. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled The Serious Ending. Okay, so for a lot of Virgos, there could be a lot of cycles in life that are culminating, and again, endings aren't always a bad thing. Usually it's like one cycle closes, a new one opens. So there was metamorphosis, there was change, but I definitely felt like something coming to a crescendo, so to speak, where it's going to reach its fever pitch. So we're going to see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take it out hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards to start for our Virgo collective, please. What's happening? What is happening for Virgo? Thank you. All right, High Priestess, the unknown, huh? Now, luckily, this is an energy that really works well with Virgo energy, but she is just a little mysterious, huh? Very spiritual. So it's a good vibe. I think it's something that you could definitely work with. Let's get 2 more. Let's get 2 more. We'll see what she's indicating. Okay, Fool. So yeah, nice, that future focus. Lots of major arcana here, my good friends. Get that Fool tucked in right there. Let's get 1 more and see what shows up for you. Thank you. Huh. All right. So we do have the Page of Swords, a little watcher of the tarot deck. He's not a bad card. He's a big card of communication as well. So I can't wait to see how this plays out, because to me, it feels like the energy is, I don't want to say all over the place, but it feels separated or separate things. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, let's go through the elements. We have a pretty good mixture here. And I always like to look at the elements because it gives us an idea of how energy is moving or the areas of life. And again, I like the the elemental mixture. We start here with water. That is a very complementary type of energy for Virgos, right? Usually earth and water mix very well. That's the internal realm. That's the inside, the feelings, the emotions, the creativity. It's huge for partnerships and connections as well. So I like it's just a lot going on the inside. In the center, we have ourselves a little bit of fire. That's the realm of action, movement, passion, desire, drive. So these energies could be a little bit at odds, right? Like this energy is like all internal, internal, internal. This one's all external. Again, like sometimes fire element could make Virgos feel a little too pressured. So we want to keep a close eye on that. And then right here on the back end, we have air, the realm of logic, planning, strategy, intelligence, communication. So we have a nice little mixture of stuff. These could be different areas of life or different ways to approach something for sure. But let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, we start with the beautiful High Priestess, and I've already been singing her praises. Now, classically, she connects to Pisces. I like to link her to all water signs, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I believe they all fit the archetype of her. She is the matron of psychics, intuitives, and tarot readers. So, obviously, whenever she shows up in your reading, your energetic sensitivity could be heightened. I've been seeing this for all the earth signs this week in particular, that there could just be something going on in the ether where like all the earth signs are just a little more tuned in than they normally are. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Your intuition, your gut could be trying to tell you to do something, or you might be feeling things you can't quite put your finger on. She is great for any sort of spiritual practice, any sort of ritualization, so that's good, whether it's meditating, yoga, um, prayer, you name it. She's really good for that type of stuff, so you might want to inject that into your daily life. But the big thing with her is she is very quiet. She's extremely knowledgeable. She knows a lot of stuff, but she's very hush, 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 quiet. Um, in her challenge, I would say she could sometimes be secretive. She is one of my cards of mystery. So when I see her, I think of the surprising, the unexpected, the stuff that we don't quite see coming. And in its roughest sense, it can be an energy that's like purposefully being secretive. So we'll take a look at her, that's for sure. We'll see what comes up. Now, as we get her tucked back in by this amethyst crystal, let's talk about the next card over. We have our good pal, the Fool himself, the protagonist of the tarot deck, the first card, the first of the major arcana. It is tied heavily in with Aries energy, which is the first zodiac sign. So this card's all about initiating things. It's fresh, it's new, it's filled with like hope and optimism. So I really do like this card, but it's much more intense than the High Priestess. So like she's internally intense, but she's not doing much. Then the Fool is doing the damn most, right? It's great for new things like new jobs, new directions, taking action. I really like the Fool for that. It's usually very lighthearted, so to me it feels happy and bubbly, if that makes sense. However, there is a downside to the Fool. It could be a little too off the cuff. It's an energy that is prone to do things without thinking them through, where it's act first, ask questions later. This is an energy that could sometimes mess things up. It could sometimes make a mistake. It could be a little rash sometimes. So we do want to keep a very close eye on this Fool. Extremely spontaneous. He's called the Fool for a reason, right? He's about to walk off a cliff. So we'll see what's up with him. Now, moving to the back end, total opposite, right? Whereas like the Fool is happy-go-lucky, here we go, let's do it, let's make it happen. We have the most defensive page in the whole entire deck here, extremely cautious. So the Page of Swords. Now I like pages because again they are fresh. So for some of you, maybe these are two ways to tackle the situation, right? We have one that's like much more blatant and in your face, and then this one's much more reserved, that's for sure. But pages are a student, so it's learning new things, filling your brain. Now's a great time to learn new information, memorize things. It's great for feeding the mind, but they're also communicators, they're messengers. Now, the big thing with this guy, aside from the communication, is he's the watcher of the tarot deck. Everyone says it, right? When we see the Page of Swords, he has his eye on something. So whether it's a situation or a person, spirit's like, hey, Virgo, keep your eye on that one. Or maybe someone's got you under the magnifying glass. That could be very possible with this. Someone could be watching your moves, watching your reactions when we have the Page of Swords. But it is extremely defensive. And I would say that's one of its challenges too. It can be very standoffish and too defensive. But as you can see, we have the cautious, we have the happy-go-lucky, and then we have the mystery. So I'm not sure if these are three separate paths, but I want to dive deeper on all of it, Virgo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for my friends. What do we got? for the Virgo collective, please. My guides and spirits. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the High Priestess. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's see what she has. What's this mysterious energy about? Thank you. Yeah, this is somebody definitely like keeping their plans under wraps. I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, to me, it splits a couple of different ways, Virgo, and this can be really good for some of you. This could absolutely be somebody that's really tuning into spirituality to help them move forward with something, where it's like, just give me a sign. Some of you might be in that place where you're like, God, angels, ancestors, someone please give me a sign what to do here or what direction to go in. That's something that's intuitively coming through. And again, it could be someone else you're connected to, but it's like they're looking for the synchronicities or hoping for them. But aside from that, when I see the High Priestess, very hush hush with the Seven of Cups, that's like, I'm keeping my options and my plans quiet. I don't want to let it out yet which direction I'm going. So again, we do have somebody strategizing and planning here, and they're keeping it very quiet for some reason. So those are both main messages I'm picking up. Now, does that have to make you nervous or get you on edge? No. Remember, we don't go worst case scenario around here. Sometimes people plan things for the better. I don't understand the hush hush. I don't understand the secrecy behind it, but maybe there's a good reason where it's like, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, or, I don't want to speak about these plans until they're a little more solid. So, yeah, we have the strategy, and then at the same time, we have someone looking for a sign. That's the main vibe I'm picking up, but let's keep moving. Let's see what the Fool has. I don't want to, revolve the whole reading around that. But I think it's good and optimistic too. So for some Virgos, follow your gut with whatever situation you're going through, because maybe Spirit is trying to guide you. But let's see what's up with the Fool. Let's see what the action has. Then we'll get over to that page. I feel like that page could be super important. But why is the Fool here? Why is the Fool here? Okay. You see, this is someone that might just be too quick to do something. That's just how it feels to me. And again, I'm a big action individual. I have a lot of Aries placements in my chart, so I totally get the energy. But when I see the Two of Pentacles in reverse, it's, again, we have this little fork in the road of energy. One, with the Fool and the Two of Pentacles in reverse, it is someone that doesn't fully think something through before they do it. So it's like we have this very cautious, planned approach, and then someone going against the plan, where it's like, I wanted to do this, but I did this instead. So again, watch out. I mean, that could be good for some of you. It really depends on your situation. But I feel like somebody was planning something out, planning it out. This is how it's going to go. And then they divert from the plan. Again, doesn't have to be bad. But with the Two of Pentacles in reverse underneath the Fool, it's an energy that it's too quick. I don't want to say it's someone that makes a mistake. It just feels very spontaneous. So watch out for certain individuals that act first, ask questions later, or people that are just a little volatile. That's how it feels to me. They're a little unpredictable. So there might be certain individuals in your circle where it's like, all right, well, I could say this to them, but I don't know how they're going to react. Or I could do this. I don't know how they're going to react. It's like your guess is as good as mine. That's how the energy feels here. So we're just going to keep moving. Again, it doesn't feel treacherous. It doesn't feel like you're going to walk off a cliff here. It just doesn't feel as considerate. It doesn't feel as thought through, right? Whereas this energy's taken forever and a day to line something up perfectly. This one's like, screw the plan. Screw the plan. I'm just going to go do this. Let's see what's up with the page, because I think this could be important for tying it in. So why is the Page of Swords here for my lovely Virgo friends? So you can have energies pulling you in a lot of different ways this week. Okay, if this is all you, like the energy could be pulling you in a lot of different directions. Use your intuition. Again, you know what's best for your situation in life. But why is the Page of Swords here? Okay. And then this option just isn't optimal either, because this one seems like it's doing nothing. Okay, so we have the Chariot in reverse, big Cancer energy. And when I see it underneath the Page of Swords, it's like it feels like a statue to me. It feels like someone that's just like I don't know if it's analysis paralysis or just someone that's like stopped cold or just being stubborn. These energies are all different. Now, the optimal one to me overall, I feel like, is the High Priestess, to be honest with you. But let's talk more about this page. Now, of course, when I see the Page of Swords with the Chariot in reverse, there could most definitely be someone that's paying attention to you or keeping an eye. And to me, it doesn't feel malicious. It could be out of genuine concern, even if you don't know that. So just know there could be someone watching your moves, or maybe that's something you're doing. Maybe there's someone you're concerned about them, or you're concerned about something. It's like, I just want to keep an eye on them. But when I see the Chariot in reverse underneath the Page of Swords, it's like, I can't move or I'm not doing anything. So we have three different paths, three different options. So once again, I feel the energy pulling a lot of Virgos in a lot of different directions. These are two sides of the same coin, whereas like the Fool in the middle is just a little too wild. This one is a little too stagnant, if that makes sense. So what the Page of Swords, Chariot inverse, it could be something that comes to a stop. Okay, so for some Virgos, maybe there's certain things where it's like, let me put a stop to this for the time being, even if it's not permanent. There's just a lot of information rolling through here, my friends. And again, that's Cancer collective energy here. So we have a lot of water sign indicators. So let's go through and do a quick recap. We got a lot here. Definitely a lot of different energies this week. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we have the High Priestess and the Seven of Cups in the upright. Now, initially, I felt like this could be someone that's making plans or planning something, and they're keeping a little hush hush, where it's like, all right, I'm not going to let anyone know what my next move is. And it felt okay to me. It didn't necessarily feel bad. I also felt someone strongly looking for spiritual guidance or a sign, where they're like praying for it, like, God, please give me a sign, my angels, someone, show me something, show me the direction. I think that will happen if that fits, if that hits for you. I think that'll happen when I see this. Moving to the middle, and I like this energy because it's cautious, but not too cautious, if that makes sense. In the center, going with your intuition is super important. So whatever option you feel is best would be the best, even if this is something that hasn't come up yet. But position number two, we have the Fool with the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, we see action. Yeah, we see movement, but it feels a little bit reckless, or where someone may have had something planned out, and then they're like, forget the plan. Where it's like, I had a structure. This is how I was going to proceed, and then the plan goes out the window. That's just how it feels to me. So again, just be cautious with that type of vibe. Maybe it's for the best for some of you. Moving to the back end, so yeah, we have the action, we have the caution, then we have the Page of Swords with the Chariot in reverse. Full stop. This is an energy that's not moving, not doing anything. Now, if I'd say out of all the options, which one I think is the least optimal, I feel like it's this one. I feel like your best bet is with these two. Now, the Page of Swords, Chariot in reverse, it could be someone keeping an eye, watching, and it feels to me out of concern. But at the same time, I also feel somebody putting a stop to something as well. So there's just a lot of stuff that came through here, Virgo. So only take it how it hits for you. But yeah, please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. What do we got for Virgo in the shadows, please? Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card going. What do we got for Virgo? Thank you. Okay. Two of Cups, cool. So a big energy of partnerships. Now, for some of you, this could most definitely be like a soul tie, where the energetic feedback is still there. Very important individual, whether it's someone that's currently in your life or even not. It's like energetically, this energy is still giving back and forth. So I like the Two of Cups. If you're going through any difficult situations, Spirit could be saying like, hey, maybe get some advice from someone you trust, someone that you're close to, because that's what I think of with the Two of Cups. It's somebody that I can speak to. It's someone I can be honest with. It's someone I don't have to hide from. So I do like the Two of Cups as a shadow card. However, the shadow side of the Two of Cups can represent people that just are not on the same vibration right now as well. So for some of you, if you're having difficulties with a very specific individual, you guys just might be on different wavelengths. Doesn't mean that there's no care. Doesn't mean that, it means nothing or anything like that. To me, it's like, all right, well, there is a tie. There's an energetic tie. We're just on different wavelengths for whatever reason. We're on a different vibration. So Partnerships are important, though, especially with this showing up in the shadows. So, Virgo, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the October subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation and book a personal reading with me, you could check out my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The October schedule is up there and it's filling up quick. So if you want to have a little chat, go over there and check it out. But for the October subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of the most stunning decks I've ever experienced, the Star Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments. Since last month, I asked everybody which zodiac sign they get along best with. This month, out of all the zodiac signs, which one do you clash with a little bit there? Drop it down in the comments. You'll be entered to win. And the winners will be announced in the community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.